At the moment, I've been visiting some isolated churches. They're so beautiful. It's just so nice to get out. In one church, obviously the churches are shut at the moment, but there was a curator out cutting the grass around the stones, because someone's got to keep the graveyard looking nice for those that can't come to keep up the work around their loved ones' graves. And she was really lovely, and she was telling me a few things actually. I was telling her that my anxiety's risen and stuff like that, and she was actually really lovely, and she was telling me ways on what to think about, and she was giving me the history of the church. And just dropped my flask again. I told you I ain't lucky with flasks. I should write to Thermos and say, can you just give me a box? So so she explained the history of the church. So I will write about that because it was so interesting, and as my first thought, it was a Celtic Druid place. There's a yew tree and there's a running spring, and like she said, usually when you find a Celtic spot, if it's a old Celtic settlement or a place of worship that the old Celtics used to use, they used to renovate the yew tree, the rowan tree, and they would want it near a spring, and apparently that spring leads to a wishing well, so which would be a natural one. So I've always felt the energy around Llanrhidian, and also it's like it's got the old leper stone in that church as well. So a very interesting place to visit. Don't come with the kids, they're going to get bored unless they want to run around, and it's not really a place to run around, isn't it, people's graves. But if you're like a small group travelling with a loved one, or like yourself, solo like me, it's a nice place to go and burn a candle. I'm not Christian, however, some of the old pagan beliefs got very much mixed with Christianity, and in paganism we do burn a candle, so no better place to do it. I don't care if it's a church. Church is just a building, and the architecture on it, next to none, but you can burn a candle, and manifest and bring the energies and get yourself centered at places of old Celtic worship. So I'm well chuffed that my original thoughts on the place and my original feeling on the place is actually has actually been told it's true. So there you go. Always trust your vibe, hey? Your intuitions. That's that message.